In today's video, we're going to show you guys how to pull out your old leaky radiator and get a new one installed. We got a radiator that just came in from eBay, and I'm hopeful that it did not get damaged during the shipping process. So let's go ahead and pull this out and see how she looks. Looks like we've got our two different plugs. Got to verify which one is which. And let's see if we can carefully lift this guy up and out of here. All right. So this is supposedly going to fit our 2008 328i. So that's what we're going to be fixing today. And this is not an OEM radiator, but it supposedly is going to meet our needs and stop us from having leaks. But I just wanted to make a video real quick showing the design of it. This one does not have the sensor. Some of the 3 Series models come with a sensor that is usually sitting kind of over here on the side of the radiator fins, but it looks like we have everything where we need it, and I don't see any obvious damage or any broken brackets. So now that we've verified that we've got a good part, I'm going to go ahead and start taking the old radiator out. Here's a quick shot of the contact number for this company. Get in here and pop the hood. For starters, you're going to pull all those little 7mm, actually they're closer to 8mm, but you'll take a little socket, and basically you're going to want to get all of these little screws, pull down this flap, and then you'll remove those little brackets as well as that additional flap. And now we can access the drain plug right here. We're going to use this these little square pliers and a quarter to get in there, just because these typically get stripped out pretty easily by flatheads. So don't use a flathead screwdriver on this. And once we get draining, we'll go ahead and keep going from the top. All right, the coolant is drained out all the way. We got our air box removed. Went ahead and covered up our intake. That way we don't get any debris inside there. Now we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the electrical fan. It's got these 2 little tabs you gotta squeeze. And we're gonna go ahead and remove the fan, and then we'll go ahead and start disconnecting the radiator connections. But yeah, these steps to remove the intake is pretty basic, so I'm not gonna cover that. I went ahead and just skipped over that, so that way we can get right into the key points that you're gonna need to focus on when pulling the radiator. Now we're gonna go ahead and tackle this. It's a T25. And there's also another one down on the bottom. Once you're back under the car by the drain, you're also going to go ahead and you're going to need to loosen up this guy right here. This little T25 needs to be taken out. So just go ahead and loosen this up. Once you have that screw removed and that one on the bottom that I showed you, now the radiator fan can come up and out. But first, there is a little clip right here. And you can see this. We're going to need to pull this clip out like that, and then you can pull up. On the passenger side, it just has a little notch, this guy right here, that it'll slide up and out. So let's go ahead and carefully pull this, and up and out it comes. Carefully set it down somewhere where it's safe. Now we've got our hose connections. We've got this big boy, a smaller one there underneath. Jump back to the driver's side. We've got the big boy on top. This one gets pretty brittle, so you can carefully wiggle that off. You don't want to get a bunch of this broken plastic in your coolant hoses. And down at the bottom, we already got it started. You can remove that little T25 right there, and that's one of the smaller hoses down at the bottom. Make sure you save these, keep them in a safe spot. That way you don't lose them. Always nice to have a good pick tool. This one we'll go ahead and pull up. That's all we're doing. It's a quick disconnect. And that one is a little hard to see, but we're gonna need to come in, I think right here, pull out on that. And then this one at the bottom, I'm not too sure. I'll have to get down there. One thing I'd recommend is taking a zip tie and using it to pull this guy away from the radiator and zip tying it up. That way you won't have it snagging or breaking, you know, the new radiator. Mainly when you put the new one in, that's more or less the reason. This one's all old and damaged. As you guys can see, we put some silicone on here because we had a very small crack on this plastic. Extremely common spot for these N52 engines to leak. Coolant is right around here on these elbows. That big one down there is suspect to it as well, but mainly it seems to happen right around here all the time on these cars. And as you guys can see, once these little metal clips are lifted up, you can pull out the connection, and it's kind of a nifty design. It's different from American cars, so pretty interesting design on these BMWs. While we're also doing the radiator, we might as well go ahead and replace the coolant expansion overflow reservoir. These are notorious for having the caps deteriorate. As you can see, we've broken off all the pieces and recently lost the O-ring that's on the end here, so I'm hopeful the O-ring is still hiding in here and didn't get sucked down into the coolant pump. And then also the floats in here, also that little stick, the measuring stick, breaks up and deteriorates. This one's from a 2010, and based on the photos on eBay, it is in better condition than the one we have, so we're going to go ahead and switch that out also. So you got to get out those two 10 millimeters that are there and there, and just that little connector on the bottom, same thing, pop the clip, and we've got our coolant reservoir. This is the one that was in there, and you can see we still have the stick a little bit on this, and very common issue on these BMW reservoirs, but that little plastic just kind of deteriorates and starts to chip away. Turns out the one that we just bought, actually the dipstick is completely gone from the inside of that float. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try and flush this out and get the O-ring that was originally with the cap that I have. Here's the new cap, and as you can see, there's that O-ring right under the edge of it, and that is important to help with sealing the pressure on this guy. A couple of good flushes with the garden hose, and I was able to get that O-ring out of this. So now we don't have to worry about that potentially getting sucked into the water pump someday. But anywho, let's go ahead and put this guy back together. All right, we got the reservoir back in place. Got it locked in down here. Still have this connection to wiggle off. I sprayed WD-40 on it and soaked it for a bit just because it seems to be a little stubborn. But of course, we're disconnected here. We're disconnected on the bottom, and we've got this zip tied out of the way. So now we've got a clear space to work with here, which is good. But yeah, I'm gonna get this one broken loose, and then we'll get that last smaller connection broken loose. All right, connections are now loose, and all we have left is that T25 right here, and there's that one on the top right passenger side, and then of course there's one hiding just over here. So I'm gonna get those, and then we should be able to pull it up and out. You can take a bungee and run it between this and kind of pull it away. It's going to tweak the hose just a little bit, but that really will free up anything that's going to get in your way, and should be good to go. Now it's time for us to just pull it forward a little, and it should just come up and out of here. A little bit of loving. And there is the old radiator, and as you guys can see, lots of coolant was leaking down the side of this guy. Don't forget to save any screws that you need. That's for that bottom coolant line. So I'm going to transfer this over. Give you these two different plugs, and so it's important to take out your old plug on your old radiator and figure out if you have the longer one or the shorter one. OEM plug removed, and between the two, this is going to be our best bet, the longer option. So Make sure you check that on your radiator. We can carefully grab our new radiator. Go ahead and we'll lean our new one up against here. Got these little caps. Pop those off. Just gently pull those off just like so. Looks pretty. We'll want to keep it that way, so we'll tape this cardboard into place here, and then we'll pull it out once we get it installed. Tape is in place. Got the new plug installed, and I also got that little mounting bolt switched over from the old radiator. This new one looks good. It's time for us to carefully slide it down into place, so let's just do that, and I'll put the camera down temporarily. Not rush it, take your time, make sure everything is clear and you're working your way little by little over the obstacles that are in the way. You know, we got these air conditioning lines that are coming in there, so just take your time and finagle it down back into position. All right, it is a bit of a tight fit, but we got our mounting screw there, the T25, and also here as well. At this point, I went ahead and connected the lower hose here. I took the tape off of this piece of cardboard. Radiator's looking good. Double check your connections after you clip them. Try to pull them apart. Again, they should come off fairly easy if they're not clipped in all the way. You have to make sure the hoses seat all the way onto the mating surface of these connection points. So let's go ahead and do one real quick with you guys here. This is one of the bigger ones, and we want this guy on here all the way. There we go, just like that, and then that should lock in, and now it shouldn't come undone anymore. And as you guys can see, I'm yanking on it and it's not letting me pull it apart. So yeah, now it's just a matter of doing the reverse process. Gonna go ahead and make sure we get our last small coolant line connected down here, which I'm gonna have to get onto the bottom of the car for. But yeah, we'll get our fan shroud back in here in a minute. You are putting the fan shroud in. Keep in mind, you do have these little notches on the passenger side that are going to hit that radiator hose fitting right there. So you do have to kind of turn it, and so you kind of got to angle it, like tweak it to the left, and then that way you're able to kind of work it down in. And then don't forget, you're going to also need to line up on these notches as well. So make sure you get it slid into those little notches, and you can see that's where we need to be. We're coming together. I figured I'd show y'all some live action on what it looks like with these clips, so you can see how those work. Having a nice pick to pull those open is key. And other than that, we just need to wiggle these on. Just like so. Need to run our coolant line, make sure it clips back into these little clippers, and then make sure the fan wiring is all set. And we should be able to plug that in right there. One thing to special note, before you secure the radiator fan shroud, is the cooler down there. It's very challenging to see, but it has this little edge that has to go up into the shroud. So keep that in mind before pushing your tab down and locking it into place. So make sure you cut your zip tie early when you're putting in the shroud. That way you can slide it into place. Otherwise you won't have enough room to get it back into position. Not forget to remove these from the bottom of your radiator. Otherwise the bottom of your fan shroud will not line up. So make sure you take these little clips. You're gonna wanna put them in. That's what it should look like. You want it to be clipped in, and you want this little tab needs to be sticking out on each of those. So make sure you get that done, and don't get carried away putting everything back together until you switch these clips over, because I almost forgot about these. So do that. All right, well, we got a little bit of rain And I got the engine bay cleaned up a little bit. Even got our BMW performance cover on there, so it's looking good. But it's time to fill up the cooling system with some BMW blue coolant. So we went ahead and picked up this Xerex from Valvoline. It's the G48 mix, and this is intended for BMW German cars, and it's going to meet the OEM requirements for coolant. So this is a safe bet for $17.99, so 18 bucks for a gallon of this stuff. I don't like to do the mixing. I prefer to just go ahead and get this pre-diluted stuff, and that way we can add the 2 gallons that are needed to top off the cooling system and get it back up and running. Fingers crossed that we have no leaks on any of our attachments, any of our hose connects, and we're able to pressurize the system and be good. Our coolant is just right there. It's pretty much full at this point. We want to go ahead and loosen up our little bleeder screw here, and this is going to help the system vent out some of the air bubbles. So we'll just, there it is. Loosen that up. And let's top off a little bit more. Now it's time to jump in the car, put our key in the ignition without putting our foot on the brake pedal to actually start the engine, and let everything turn on. Set your thermostat to 84 on both sides and put it at the lowest setting, and then press the gas pedal for 10 seconds. See what we hear. I don't know if you heard that sloshing noise. But now our water pump should be activated. It's quiet and a little bit faint. There it is. You can hear that. It's running. We need to fill it up with some more. And this is a pretty cool procedure that, I mean, you'll never find this in an American-made car, at least any of the ones that I've driven. But I think this is pretty cool how it takes a little break, and then after a few moments, the water pump will kick back on, and it'll just keep blowing the bubbles out. And see, there it goes again. And you can hear that. That's all the air that's trapped in the system. So we want to make sure we get all those air bubbles out. A few minutes into it, still bubbling. You want to do this for about 12 to 15 minutes from what I understand. So just leave your car with the system turned on, and this bleeding process will run its course after about 15 minutes. So just be patient. Well, it's time to get it started now. Don't have hardly any fuel in this thing. Have to get it warmed up. Well, I'm going to leave it at that for the video on the leaky radiator. If you guys are having some leaks on your radiator, don't forget to look along the side, because this is where it seems to crack the most, right here on the driver's side elbow. But I'll keep you guys posted on the other videos that we're making. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, as we're trying to do this full time, and we really appreciate you guys following along. There's a whole playlist on this E90 that we're putting together, so if you have any other issues with your E90 or N52, such as the common Vanos solenoid issue, go ahead and check out our other videos on it. But as always, we appreciate y'all watching, and we will see y'all on the next one. Take care.